A storm is gathering over the Atlantic. But this is no ordinary weather. It's a tempest of politics, money, and power threatening to reshape global aviation. At the center, Boeing, America's aircraft titan, and Ryanair, Europe's low-cost airline juggernaut. Billions of dollars, thousands of jobs, and the future of international air travel hang in the balance. The US government's America First trade policy could impose tariffs, making Boeing jets pricier for foreign buyers like Ryanair. For Ryanair, built on razor-thin margins, these tariffs are an existential threat. The dispute exposes the fragility of the global supply chain and the interconnectedness of our world. The peace that allowed the aerospace industry to flourish is fracturing under political and economic pressure. The outcome could reinforce the old order, or shatter it, opening the skies to new players and new rules. The conflict exploded when Ryanair's CEO, Michael Olyri, threatened to cancel a $30 billion order for over 300 Boeing 737 MAX jets. This wasn't a backroom negotiation, it was a public ultimatum. If tariffs hit, Ryanair can't absorb the cost. Their low-cost model depends on bulk orders and standardization. A sudden price hike would force Ryanair to raise fares or slash profits. Neither is an option. The order is one of the largest in aviation history, vital for both Ryanair's growth and Boeing's stability. By threatening to walk away, Olyri is gambling Ryanair's future to pressure both Boeing and the US government. The cancellation would devastate Boeing and ripple through its American suppliers. Olyri's move is a calculated play, targeting not just Boeing's boardroom but the White House and Congress. The message is protecting one industry worth risking another, and a transatlantic trade war? The stakes couldn't be higher. For Boeing, Ryanair's threat comes at the worst possible time. Already battered by production delays and quality scandals, Boeing can't afford to lose its biggest European customer. The Ryanair order is a financial anchor. Its loss would be catastrophic. Boeing's future depends on long-term orders to keep production lines running and investors confident. With China's market largely closed, Europe and Ryanair are more crucial than ever. Losing Ryanair could trigger a domino effect, emboldening other airlines to demand discounts or cancel orders. Boeing is caught between US trade policy and customer demands, its survival hanging in the balance. The company must navigate this crisis without losing its European lifeline. At the heart of this high-stakes drama stands Michael Olyri, Ryanair's famously combative CEO and a master negotiator with a reputation for shaking up the aviation industry. Olyri is not just a leader, he's a disruptor, known for his bold tactics and relentless pursuit of the best deal for his airline. Olyri thrives on brinkmanship, using public threats and calculated provocations to force concessions from even the most powerful players. He's made a career out of pushing negotiations to the edge, never afraid to call out suppliers or competitors in the public eye. By threatening to cancel the Boeing deal, Olyri is leveraging Ryanair's massive buying power as a political weapon, sending shockwaves through the industry. For Boeing, losing Ryanair would mean more than just lost revenue. It would be a blow to their dominance in the European market. The risk is real. If his bluff is called, Ryanair could be left without new planes for years, as Airbus is already sold out and production slots are scarce. The stakes are enormous, and the consequences could reshape Ryanair's future. Olyri's strategy is rooted in the need for cost certainty. Unexpected tariffs or price hikes create chaos for his famously low-cost model. Every euro counts, and any disruption to his carefully calculated expenses could threaten Ryanair's razor-thin margins. He's fought hard with Boeing before, but this time he's raised the stakes even higher by openly hinting at a new supplier, China's ambitious COMAC. This isn't just a negotiating tactic, it's a signal that the global balance of power could shift. The mere mention of a Chinese rival shakes the foundations of the global aviation market, introducing a new player into a long-standing duopoly, and making both Boeing and Airbus take notice. Olyri's gambit isn't just about price, it's about rewriting the rules of the industry, challenging old alliances, and forcing everyone to reconsider what's possible in commercial aviation. His tactics have turned what began as a business dispute into a geopolitical flashpoint, drawing in governments, regulators, and industry leaders from around the world. For Olyri, predictability is everything. For Boeing, this is a test of loyalty, resilience, and their ability to hold on to a crucial customer in turbulent times. The world is watching to see who blinks first, as the outcome could set a precedent for future negotiations across the industry. The outcome of this standoff could redefine the balance of power in aviation, shaping the future of air travel for years to come. Olyri's boldest move? It's not just about negotiating with Boeing or Airbus for better prices. He's threatening to shake up the entire aviation industry. By openly considering China's COMAC as a supplier if Boeing stumbles, Olyri is sending a clear message: the old rules of the game are changing. The COMAC C919 is China's ambitious answer to the Boeing 737 and Airbus A320, designed to compete head-to-head with the world's most popular single-aisle jets. Its goal? To break the Western duopoly that has dominated commercial aviation for decades and give airlines a real alternative. Ryanair's interest, even if partly a bargaining tactic, instantly boosts COMAC's credibility on the global stage. Suddenly, the world is watching China's aviation ambitions more closely. But there are major hurdles ahead. The C919 isn't certified in Europe, and getting approval from regulators like ESA could take years, with no guarantees of success. Even if Ryanair wanted to place a massive order for Chinese planes, the reality is that deliveries would be years away, far too late to meet their aggressive growth targets. Production lines are already stretched, and supply chain delays are a constant threat in today's market. The C919 also depends heavily on Western-made engines and avionics, which means the US and its allies still have significant leverage. They could halt production or block exports if tensions rise. Olyri's Chinese gambit is as much about global politics as it is about business strategy, highlighting just how interconnected and interdependent the world of aircraft manufacturing has become. The mere threat of a new player, whether it's Airbus, Boeing, or COMAC, sends shockwaves through boardrooms and factory floors across the industry. For Boeing, the idea of losing ground to a rising Chinese competitor is nothing short of a nightmare scenario, raising the stakes for everyone. The future of aviation may soon be decided not just in Seattle or Toulouse but in Beijing as well, signaling a new era where the balance of power in the skies is up for grabs. Ryanair's threat puts Washington in a bind. Tariffs are meant to protect American industry but could backfire by costing Boeing a massive export deal and thousands of US jobs. Lawmakers now face a tough choice: stick to protectionism or risk economic self-harm. National security concerns add fuel to the fire. Some warn that buying Chinese planes could aid a strategic rival. The Ryanair-Boeing dispute has become a geopolitical chess match, not just a trade spat. The US must decide enforce tariffs and risk a trade war, or grant exemptions and risk political backlash. The consequences will ripple far beyond Boeing and Ryanair, shaping America's trade relationships and its rivalry with China. The world is watching for Washington's next move. This battle isn't just about boardrooms, it affects every traveler. If tariffs stick, Ryanair's costs rise, fares go up, and the era of ultra-cheap European flights could end. The dispute could also break the Boeing-Airbus duopoly, with COMAC emerging as a third force. More competition could eventually mean lower prices, but in the short term, travelers may face higher fares and fewer choices. Airlines may rethink their partnerships, shifting to Airbus or even COMAC if Boeing seems unreliable. Production delays and order cancellations could shrink Ryanair's network, cutting routes and reducing competition. For passengers, that means less choice and higher prices. The fragile global travel network is at risk of further disruption. The outcome of this standoff will shape the planes we fly and the prices we pay. The skies are changing, and so is the future of travel. The Ryanair-Boeing standoff is more than a $30 billion contract dispute. It's a moment that could redefine the aviation industry for years to come. What started as a disagreement over aircraft pricing and delivery schedules has now become a symbol of deeper shifts in the global marketplace. It's a turning point for global aviation, highlighting just how interconnected and fragile the industry truly is. Every decision made here ripples across continents, affecting airlines, manufacturers, and passengers alike. The standoff exposes the tension between nationalist trade policies and the realities of a globalized industry, where supply chains stretch across borders and no player can truly go it alone. The mere mention of COMAC as a contender signals a new era, the ABCs of aviation: Airbus, Boeing, and COMAC. For the first time in decades, the duopoly is being challenged, and the competitive landscape is shifting. The crisis reveals how business and politics are now inseparable, with every negotiation shaped by government interests, regulatory pressures, and international alliances. Decisions made in Washington or Beijing can instantly reshape the industry, influencing everything from aircraft certification to market access and investment flows. Olyri's bold tactics have forced a global conversation about competition, trade, and the future direction of aviation. His willingness to challenge the status quo is making industry leaders and governments rethink their strategies. The future of flight is being debated in boardrooms and control towers, as airlines and regulators grapple with new realities and rising expectations. The outcome will impact jobs, ticket prices, and the livelihoods of millions who depend on aviation, from pilots and engineers to airport staff and travel agents. It will also shift the balance of power between America, Europe, and China, as each region vies for influence and market share in the skies. Europe and China are watching closely, ready to seize opportunities and respond to challenges as the industry evolves. This is not just a business negotiation, it's a battle for the future of the skies where innovation, policy, and ambition collide. The choices made now will echo for decades, influencing not only how we travel, but also who leads the next generation of aviation. These decisions will shape the routes we fly, the prices we pay, and the connections we make across the globe. The world is watching as the next chapter in aviation history unfolds, with every headline and announcement scrutinized by industry insiders and travelers alike. The future of flight is up for grabs, and the decisions made today will determine who soars and who is left grounded tomorrow.